This is video 3. We will continue with Malarial Action Program 1995. It was started in 1995. So, resurgence of malaria. So, when we say resurgence, what it is a situation in which malarial cases abruptly increased in a particular area after it had been suppressed. So, when there were no cases, like relapse, okay, so in that particular area where there was no cases, but all of a sudden we see that there is an increased incidence of the cases. So that happened in areas like Rajasthan, Manipur, Nagaland, Assam, West Bengal, Maharashtra. So expert committee was formed in 1994 where high risk areas, all these were identified, and then FTD, microscopic facility for 1000 population and 30,000 populations were made. So again FTD is nothing but fever treatment depot. So again in all these high risk areas they made sure that they did the people with fever, they underwent diagnostic test, blood test, and then they were treated with anti-malarial drugs. Okay, so what are the elements of this? So early diagnosis and prompt treatment has to be given. Then sustainable preventive measures including vector control. So mostly environmental hygiene, and then breeding places should not be there, or they can use this larvivorous fish, okay, so which will actually eat off the larvae of the mosquitoes. Environmental sanitation, no stagnation of water, okay, so covering and keeping all the pure drinking water, because mosquito usually spreads in the clean water. Okay, so all these preventive measures, and then spraying, it can be residual spraying or space spraying which can be done in order to prevent the malarial spread. Then prevention of epidemics. So when we say epidemics, it is the certain area, particular people only will be affected. Okay, so that has to be done. So prevention of epidemics. So making sure, so all these high risk areas are made sure that there is no further outbreak of the disease in a particular area among particular group of people. Then undergoing regular assessment. So these are the various elements. Next we will see high risk areas. So which do we target it as high risk areas? When they have IAPI, that is annual parasite incidence is more, okay, and then so usually we have seen if it is greater than 2%, right, greater than 2, if more than 2 incidents has happened. Then high proportion of parasite falciparum cases. So if we find many of the parasite falciparum cases, then that is put under high risk. And then reported death due to malaria. So if any deaths has happened because of malaria, then again that becomes a high risk area. And then SPR doubled. SPR is spread of disease. If it is doubled or SPR rate is above 5%, then all this will come under the category of high risk, like red zone. Okay, then you have Enhanced Malarial Control Project 1997. So this project, so this is all with the Malarial Action Program 1995. We have seen what it is, what are the elements, high risk areas grouping, how it is grouped. Next we will see Enhanced Malarial Control Project, which was started in the year 1997 with World Bank assistance. So World Bank assistance, they helped them financially. So it was there from 93 to 2003, but it again got extended to the year 2005. Then what are the main objectives? Effective control of malaria, bring down malaria morbidity, that is the disease rate, prevention of death, bringing down the mortality rate of malaria, then consolidation of gain achieved so far. So combination, so they will check in every year how much was the death rate, how much has been reduced, okay, recovery cases. So like that they will consolidate and they will see the differences. These are the objectives. And then selection of PHC criteria. So where all PHC can be kept. So where mainly dealing with malarial program. So wherever there is annual parasite incidence of more than 2 for the last 3 years. So if there is outbreak of 2 times, okay, in the last 3 years, then they will set up a primary health center. Then parasite falciparum cases are reported for about 30%, there it can be set. Then 25% of tribal population, because they will not have an idea or hygienic practices, or they are prone to develop more, so in those areas. And then death due to malaria. So wherever death has happened because of malaria, so in all these areas they will make sure that they will have primary health center which will be treated. Enhanced malarial control project will be started in that particular PHCs. Next you have main components. So when we say main components is early case detection and treatment, then selective vector control and personal protection, health education and community participation. So they will find out and they will treat very fast. They will also make sure that they provide measures for vector control and personal protection, how they can protect. So personal protection, again keeping away, putting nets while sleeping, using ointments, you know, like you have like lotions or ointments like Odomos, okay, and then yeah, personal protection. So you have even at the house inhalers which are used. Okay, so all these are personal protection, health education and community participation. These are the main components. Then plan of action. So synthetic pyrethroids. So these are nothing but synthetic analogs and derivatives of the original pyrethrins that we have seen, like which will be used to extract of the pyrethrin for insecticides. So this will include, when we say synthetic pyrethroid, this includes about 1000 group of about 1000 insecticides. So different insecticides for about 1000 groups comes under the synthetic pyrethroids which are used. So basically they are the insecticides. And then you have bed nets, okay, to cover while sleeping, mosquito net we say it very commonly. Then rapid diagnostic test, it is a medical test, okay, diagnostic procedure, blood test which is done, and then so that kits are being provided, and then injections are given. Then blister packs. What are blister packs? So usually when you see medication, they come either in the tablet form or it comes in a tube form, right? So you can, so that will be packed, or medications will be packed in a compact, okay, which is called as blister pack. So these are sealed compartments or spaces for medications. So usually when you see many medications, okay, like chloroquine also comes like that, and then you can also see various blood pressure tablets, okay, so even Pantocid, okay, normal what you use. So when you open, it will be like thick and flattened, right? So that is it is like a blister pack. So where the medicine will be stored and you open and you take. It is not like a normal, it doesn't come in a paper. Okay, so there are certain drugs also which comes in a packed in paper. But blister packs are like aluminium foil where you will open and you will take. Okay, so and funds for training. So already we have seen, right, that World Bank is assisting. So they also give funds for training of the staffs, how to health educate and how to prevent this malaria. So these are all the things that comes under Enhanced Malarial Control Project, which was started in the year 1997. Next we will go on to National Anti-Malarial Program, and this was started in the year 1999. So what is the objective? Mainly to reduce malarial morbidity and mortality by 50%. So they wanted to make sure that malaria will be reduced, death rate and morbidity rate will be reduced for about 50%. Then what are the targets and indicators? Mainly they have ABER, that is annual blood examination rate, so which is about 10%, and then MBER, monthly blood estimation rate of 0.8%. So they made sure what were the targets by a year they should do the blood test for about 10%. Monthly they should be able to cover up at least 0.8% of people. Then API, that is the annual parasite incidence, should be 1 or 1.3 or it should be less than that. Okay, then 25% reduction in morbidity, mortality by 2010, 50% reduction by 2012. Okay, morbidity and mortality, 25% by 2010 and then 50% reduction in morbidity and mortality by 2012. Then you have intent, next we will go. Okay, so with that we are finishing the National Anti-Malarial Program. Mainly when it was started, what was the objective, what is the target and indicators. Next we have Intensified Malarial Control Project. So this was launched in July 2005 with assistance of Global Fund was given for AIDS, TB and malaria in northeast states, Odisha, Jharkhand and West Bengal. So mainly they were focusing on these areas. Apart from malaria, they also concentrated on AIDS as well as tuberculosis. Both are fatal. Okay, now going to objectives. So even malaria, before it was, after independence, we have seen that there were a lot of cases or deaths which was caused because of malaria. Okay, now objectives of this Intensified Malarial Control Program is that to increase access, rapid diagnosis and treatment, through community participation. Okay, so making them participate in the community and making sure that early test and diagnosis is being done so that early treatment can be given to reduce the transmission by use of insecticide, treated bed nets and lavivorous fish. So one of the example for lavivorous fish can be Gambusia affinis. Okay, so there are many types of fishes. So these fishes, freshwater fishes, they will be taken and they will put it so that they will make sure that they will eat off the larva of the mosquito. So it prevents the breeding or spreading of the mosquito, which can lead to malaria. Okay, so they reduce use of insecticide and then bed nets, okay, mosquito net you have and lavivorous fish. Then to enhance awareness about malaria control program. So we should be able to enhance the awareness. We should be able to give the awareness of malarial control program, that is to teaching, information, education, communication, IEC can be done to promote community, NGO, private sector participation. So we can involve the community, we can involve non-governmental organization and private sectors can be involved. Okay, so what are the guidelines for diagnosis and treatment of malarial 2003? So for malarial control, the main thrust of the National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program is on early diagnosis. So early diagnosis and prompt, complete and effective treatment. So early it should be diagnosed and early treatment should be given. So that is in case of all the diseases including COVID-19. It is not fatal in all cases. If they are detected early, then early treatment can prevent death or pneumonia in the patient, which can lead to death. Okay, so early diagnosis, prompt, complete and effective treatment. Malarial diagnosis is carried out by microscopic examination of the blood. So in the microscope they will be visualizing the blood films, okay, which are collected. So in the slide they will be collected by active and passive agencies. So active, directly the people, workers will go, and when healthcare agencies go and find out, that is called as passive agency. So health agency and volunteers treating fewer cases in the accessible area are being provided with rapid diagnostic kits. So this RDT kits will be given where they will take the sample. We can see here in the diagram, blood collected with sterile technique. So how they are collecting, and the slide will be kept under the microscope and they will be visualizing for the falciparum parasite. Okay, so parasite falciparum specific so far, and now bivalent RDT for diagnosis of malarial cases has to provide full radical treatment of the confirmed cases. So once if the person has been proved through the malarial test that the person has proved positive, then they will be having the treatment that is given. So talking about next aims of malarial case management, how do they do? So to provide prompt and complete treatment to the confirmed cases, immediate treatment should be given. To prevent progression of mild cases, so you have to prevent at the early stage so that the patient does not get into complication. Third, we have to prevent death and from severe complicated malaria. Fourth, we have to prevent transmission because it is communicable from one person to other person. So we have to make sure that to prevent death from the severe and complicated malaria, transmission of malaria, to minimize the risk of spread of drug resistant parasite by use of effective drugs in appropriate dosage by everyone. Sometimes patients can become resistant to the particular drug, already we have seen like chloroquine. So they have to be treated with some other drug. So these are all the aims of the malarial case management. First we have to identify early treatment, then we have to make sure that it should be treated when it is mild, and then death has to be prevented, transmission of malaria has to be prevented, then risk of any resistance of the drug should be found out and should be treated appropriately. So what is the diagnosis and treatment? So all fever cases diagnosed with malaria, usually when they come with the complaints of malaria, they should undergo rapid diagnostic test, okay, or microscopic test, okay, should be promptly given effective treatment. So once it is proved positive for the patient, then we have to make sure that if the patient is tested positive, should make sure that the patient is treated immediately. The medicine chosen will depend upon whether the patient has Vivox malaria or falciparum malaria, in which the patient is affected, whether it is with falciparum parasite or with parasite Vivox. That has to be seen, and accordingly the treatment has to be given to the patient. The medicine, okay, that depends on that. The flow charts in different settings for diagnosis and blood selection for the treatment are as under. Okay, so you can see a tabular column that is given on the page 8 according to my numbering, page 8. So here in the page 7 down, you will see how the blood is collected sterile way. How they select the finger for puncture. So usually it is the third or fourth finger. So usually fourth finger is better because the nerve endings are less in that finger. And then they puncture it. Okay, puncture the side of the ball of the finger. So push the blood to the end and then you puncture it. If the blood does not well up the puncture, squeeze the finger and then always grasp. So keep it on the slide and make sure that it is slided. Okay, control the side of the blood group, touch the finger to the side low of the form. So make sure you don't touch at the upper side, you touch at the lower side and keep it under the microscope. So once when microscopy result is available within 24 hours, then the early treatment has to be started with the patient. So suspected malarial case, take slide and send for microscopy examination. Then once when we get the result, we will find out if the patient is infected with Plasmodium vivax or with falciparum, and accordingly treatment has to be given. Okay, we will continue in the next video.